Staying warm, kind of a rainy day, a little bit of a breeze, not a bad thing if you're a blacksmith or a bladesmith. There's Cheyenne over there at the grinder. She's working on some, cleaning up some blades, getting ready to do some handles, and I'm getting ready to start forging and hot fitting some guards. So if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, this is a great time to do so. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be over here at the power hammer, because I'm turning out guards pretty quick here, and that's my most efficient means to do so. I'm going to be using some 1" by 1/4" mild steel to do these guards, and I guess I can go ahead and do some hand forging. Cheyenne's on the grinder right now. Don't want to overload the circuit, so here we go, boys and girls. It is time. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and draw this point down. Into the forge. You know what? You guys might want a little better view on this. Here we go. Got the power hammer, it's a lot faster. How's it going? So today what I'm going to be doing, a while back I went through and forged out a bunch of farrier brass, Warsaw brass Bowie blades, and I guess it's time to start putting handles on these. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos, and if you got any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So that's a start. I'm going to go ahead and work on that a little more. I'm already at a width that I'm comfortable with, but one thing I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to punch that hole in for the thing, and I've got the tool right there for that. Now this will be the first blade, and you'll notice I haven't cleaned this up yet. Well, I'm not going to clean it up while I got it locked in the vise, because that hard scale on that is actually protecting that blade from getting scratched up. So if that makes sense to you, now I will go in and probably lay in a false edge on the top of that, just make that a badass long flip Bowie knife right there, broad blade, and man, I like making these things. So the idea is I'm going to forge a guard, and then that guard is going to be driven onto this so that it seats on the shoulder. All right, here we go. So I'm going to neck that down. I'm going to constrict it so that I can draw that piece out. Then I'm going to cut it off, do a little bit of forging, punch the hole, and I'm not going to do any scrolling or any bending on that until I've got that set to where it's going to fit on the fit up on the shoulder of that tank. I'm going to need a special, very special tool. Oh, look, I found one. It looks a lot like a piece of pipe that I smashed down, but it is very useful in driving that piece of mild steel onto the blade. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that off, and the reason being because the power hammer is so much faster. And I'm going to try to get my use out of this tank. That tank's getting low, and I don't want to have to switch over unless I have to. Here's a nice white chisel, and that should work well for what I'm about to do. Now, don't cut all the way through. You will mess up the face of your anvil. Not that this one isn't messed up enough as it is. Now, even though mild steel is not considered hardenable steel, if I dunk it in the water like that, that's usually enough to let me break that off. All right. So now, I'm going to go with some Iron Dungeon Forge tongs right here. And that's going into the forge. Guys, once we get those up to temperature, it's going to be onto the power hammer. For those of you who don't have a power hammer, you should. Is the anvil a little high? West Virginia hunting, well, I'm assuming WB must be West Virginia. For most people, yes it is. Now, I've got a bad back. Most people, by judging it, your knuckles should touch the top of the anvil. If I forge like this, I don't get back up. I got hurt back in 2015, so I work higher up. So that means that I'm about here. And it's not as high as you'd think. I'm just not that damn tall. All right, guys. So I'm just about up to temp on the first blank. I'm going to bring it over here so you can watch how this goes. Itchy asks, is it hard? Yeah, it depends upon what time of the day, but many times The steel is quite dense. Okay, that works a lot faster. I are going back and forth with this one. Here's a bar of steel, this works pretty quick. The power hammer's a lot faster. Going back to the first one. All right. Over here to the anvil. And I'm going to start straightening this out. I can go to a lighter hammer. And I want to even everything out. Looking pretty good to me. All right, so the next step of the process, I'm gonna heat this up. I do a lot of heating things up. I'm gonna put a hole right in the middle of that. Now, while we're waiting on that, I'm gonna turn the camera to the power hammer and work out another piece real quick here. So I'm going to use a special punch here, and it's not overly special except it's made from a chisel and is squared off on the end. And that is, that's made to punch a hole for pass-through for a tank. No bigger than this piece of steel is, I think I can get by without wearing a glove. I could be extremely wrong as well. All right. now you can see where I started to punch that. Now, we're going to bring it up to a high temp, then we're going to go from there. Now, this time I am going to need a glove because I'm going to cut that stock. And, you know, heat does rise, so as that heat's coming up, it can be pretty uncomfortable. I'm going to come in about halfway right there. So if you cut all the way through, a couple of things are going to happen. One, your piece is going to go the opposite way. If you got anything flammable, that could be bad. You could hit somebody, and I guess more than anything, it just, you want to be safe, you know? Just like that. We'll set these to the side and take what looks like a blade preform, and that's going to go in the forge. There it is. Just that simple. No grinding, no filing. Now I'm going to put that back in the forge. I'm going to straighten it out. I'm going to show you how I'm going to set that on there. Well, hello. How is Sweden? I try to be a hard worker. All right. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great opportunity to do so. We are building our following here, and I guess I need to forge on that other preform. It's a go-go power hammer. I'm going to give this a quick tap, and then I'm going to start driving it like you've only got 20 minutes on a date in college or something, you know. All right. So here is my blade in the vise. The blade is safely in the vise. That's not actually how I'm going to use this tool, but I do need to get this hotter again. So we're going to go back into the forge, and then it's going to be time to drive that on. Now, when we hit cold mild steel, it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, I do want to be cautious about tearing up a hammer face. Here's a hammer I'm not worried about tearing up. Hopefully it holds together. Started to stretch. Tighten that down just a little bit more. And the idea is essentially to drive it down onto this shoulder so that it works. Now Cheyenne earlier was doing a stabilized stone bolster on a copper knife. And it requires a little more attention. Oh, Cheyenne, come around here. It requires more time and more attention to do that. There you go.
I know I was really happy when there's no cats.
That is nice.
And I did that little trick. Also,
Go to these clear ones, they're a little better.
you were right, definitely does not need stable. It makes falling crap. I know why they do on it though.
So what I want to do next, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to go into the forge, and I'm going to start doing my bend. So I'm going to do an S-card for this essentially. So that tip is going to come up. And I can show you how to do that on the horn of the anvil, but I also have a swedge block right here. So we're going to use the swedge block because I have one. And this makes for a little more controlled bend in this piece right here.
I didn't put my maker's mark on it.
You see how got that guard up turned. And it's slightly off to the side, so we're going to heat that. And fix it right here on the anvil. Won't take much work. And then I'm going to take the other side and it's going to go the opposite way. So it's going to curve up on one side, so if this is the blade edge, it'll curve up here and down here. So it's looking pretty good to me. It is going to be a forged to fit piece. Now we're going to heat the other end. can go ahead and forge on our other guard freeform. Get the power hammer to even it out real quick. I'm going to turn that around and do a little bit of correction there as well. Going back to the switch block. Guys, so there you have a knife guard. Okay, so that's going to fit like this. There you go. Great way to make a cowboy bowie. This one's going over to the side. And that one's up the back. All right. Cheyenne's moving through. If anybody's got any questions, comments, go ahead. See. Have I ever made a katana? I have made Japanese style blades, yes. There we have it. I'm going to heat that one up again. Then it's going to be time to punch that slot. I don't have any pictures of them anymore. That's been several phones ago, so I don't. Right now, I'm working on some reverse falchion. project, but there's a Talon style reverse valve skin that I'm working on. Just neat stuff. Jason Harmon, how's it going? Alright, here we go. Back in the forge, bring it up to a high heat, then we're going to punch on through. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is a great opportunity to do so. I'm forging and then immediately hot fitting guards to these Farrier's Rasp knife blades right here. And my goal is to get 4 of them. I've already got 1 done. And that guy is right there. And yes, I'm going to clean the blades up, but right now I'm doing my fit up. That it pops on through, knocks that slug out. Keep your sides square, sharp and square, reasonably sharp and square. And it don't take very long to forge out a guard like this, people. There you go. Bring that up to temperature and continue forging. Now I do have a piece of mild steel here. This is the parent stock. Now I'm going to try driving the next one on. Similar process. This is not overly difficult. If you, even working with minimal tooling here, it does not take that much effort to do this, provided you know what you're doing and you follow some basic rules on putting the stuff together. And if it don't go together right, you throw it away, you cuss, and you start over. If you don't know what to say, you can check out my new book, Swear Words Invented by the Craftsmen in Early America. I really didn't write that book, but I think I might. I just might. This one grabbed on pretty good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab on with my glove. I'm going to, come on, loosen that son of a bitch up. All right. All right. So we're going to try that again. But in the meantime, look, a power hammer. How do you get good at something? Practice, repetition. Repetition is a big factor. If it's difficult to do it first, do it some more. Looking good. Coming tall. What's that? Ah. Okay. So, you know, why don't we do something different? Let's use the horn of the anvil this time. Pin stock or clamps? Clamps should be right. No, they're right there by the handle material.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls. Just going to take this. And work it over the horn. That looks okay. Oh, I may have a little. Now I'll turn this around. I may have to do some adjustments to this guard, but just going through kind of assembly line of this right now. It's looking okay. Thought about it briefly. I'm like, I want to wait. I want to wait a moment. Now I'm not. guard. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up so I can drive it on. In the cold state, it didn't quite have enough flex to open up. Hello, everyone. Coming up on that 45-minute mark. We try to do about an hour or so for these lives. We seem to get pretty good results that way, and gives people plenty of time to get on here and check it out. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so when we go live, you can see some of our other projects. There's that second blade with the guard bit up on it. All right, number 3 right there. It's a nice shape for a knife. Guys, I'm getting warm. I know we'll at least get 3 of these done on camera. Blacksmiths, mostly bladesmith, but yeah, blacksmith.
Mechanics.
What'd you do?
Mechanics.
Go wash your hands real quick.
I'm gonna go use this.
Soap and water, we'll take that off while Cheyenne's playing in epoxy. I got that one still coming up here. So, it really is just that simple. Next, we're going to go ahead and punch a hole in it for the tank. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am warm. Baggy ass shirt isn't doing me any good. how will I do that without electricity? Dude, I forged with coal for 20 plus years. So I've got primitive setups. It's just I make a lot of money doing this, so I speed up the process. I can do all this by hand. I just happen to invest in myself and my equipment in my shop. And that's what I encourage everyone to do, that if you have an interest, you have a calling, you have a following, or you have a calling in life that you are following, that what you should probably do is invest in that. Invest in equipment, invest in education, and as you learn, teach others. Just make sure you're learning the right stuff. Is that a kunai? No, although I can't, it's only a couple steps from really making a kunai. But I would make a kunai out of better material generally. Alright guys, so coming time, we're going to, and by we, I mean me, you guys just going to watch. I want to go ahead and punch the hole in that. Dropped it. Well, fortunately, it started to mark where it was getting thin here. That knocks that slug right out. It really doesn't take too many heats once you get used to it. It takes a lot less time if I'm not talking while I'm doing this, but I like to show people what I do. I like to give them the chance to do cool, fun stuff like this too. All right. So the little branch of the guard is going to go towards the back. Go ahead and heat that up. Now, while that's coming up to temp, it's going to be back to the power hammer, boys and girls. Let me grab another glove. I'm sure at some point we could. I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty prepared on that. All right. I don't know why I came back here, because we actually need to go over here to the vise. And going to heat that up again. again and hopefully get it set on this one. Hey, very cool. I have not read those, but I would like to at some point. I also remind a lot of people of that guy on Forged in Fire season 4 episode 2, Deerhorn Knives. That's a picture of me when I was on Forged in Fire on History Channel, and that's a picture of me when I was on Master of Arms on Discovery. And check out season 4 episode 2 of Deerhorn Knives on Forged in Fire, or season 1 episode 1 Flintlock Axe Pistol on Master of Arms on Discovery, and see me make some cool stuff. So next, we'll be using the swedge block, doing a little bit of contouring. Curved it up. Now we're going to curve the other side down. Why? Because that's what we do here. So close to that hour mark, guys. Need a fan. For the hell of it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bend that down over the board of the handle. I think that could almost work right there, but I'm going to put just a little additional bend in there and clean that up as I need. There you go, guys, right there. It's a cool, solid piece. I'll tell you what, Cheyenne's telling me I need to take a break here I'm not going to disagree with her, but I am going to run this up to at least an hour. Thank you. Whew. Guys, I got one more piece to do here. And beating to heating and cutting. So that's what I'm doing next. I told you guys it don't take that long. Once you are set up, once you are ready to do this, it doesn't take that long to actually make a piece. And I encourage, be the blacksmith, be the woodworker, be the sculptor, be the musician. Be self-expressive, create wonderful, beautiful things, whether it's the eyes, the ear, maybe you're a great cook. If so, bring me some food, I'm hungry. The reason I bend it like that is so that when it cools and I got to bend it back the other way, that it breaks. I need to mark that as mild steel, otherwise I'll think it's high carbon and make a plate out of it. It's terrible. I'm sure I'm going to be making more cards soon, so here we go, guys. Back into the forge. Coming down on time, last minute of the race. It's a couple more minutes than that, but I'm going to be putting a guard on that Bowie knife blade right there So far I've done 3. The goal was 4. I said I'm going to at least get 3 on camera, and I'm still here on camera getting the last of those projects kind of halfway finished out. All right. We're almost up to temp, which means that it's going to be time for the power hammer. I'm most likely just going to put a simple S-guard on this. I could scroll it. There's a few things I could do. I want to wait until I'm a little closer on this before I decide. I don't know if you guys are warm, but I sure as hell am. Now I'm going to finish that out, straighten it out just a little bit. I always like the rustic look of hand-wrought blades, of hand-forged axes, of hand-forged swords. Swords are usually finished out a little better, but occasionally you get the brutally forged hammer-marked knife blades. And I've always really appreciated those, always thought they were cool. And what I'm going to be doing, with the Classic American Series, Bowie Edition, they're all going to have hot forged guards. The blades are going to be finished out reasonably well, but the guards are going to be hot finished. The Classic American Forge Series, the Hunter Series, Fort pewter bolsters and guards, all going back to our roots in the U.S. here. Different times of war, of expansion in the country, of prosperity. Of adventure and of incorporating many cultures into one that today we celebrate. Some of them are dumb enough to fight about it, but we just don't talk to them. I thought I was showing almost an hour and a half on the video. I was like, must be taking way too long on this. So I'm going to come up to probably about an hour 15 or so. Maybe not quite. So averaging a little over, around about 15 minutes per guard here. Even though I could probably knock that out, I want that punch just a little bit deeper. And then this next heat, we'll go ahead, punch that, knock the slug through, and following heat, we should be, by we I mean me, I should be fitting that guard up there. This one I might do something a little different with. Nothing too different, but just enough. All right, guys. I'll say it again when I conclude the video, but this is a great time for you to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Like it, share it out, tell your friends. Let me know what you would like to see in future builds. Myself or Cheyenne might be like, hey, I was just wanting to make one of those. Almost got that slug out. Not quite. So close. There she went. All right. Give me a little bit of an idea about what I want to do. I want to see how that, yeah, that's going to have to open up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, I think I'm going to try these. I haven't tried these yet. They're quite warm there by the forge. I'm going to try these for scrolling. I've got some other scrolling tongs, but these, I want to try these. It smells somewhere between tobacco and silage. I'm not sure what that was. It's probably been out in the barn or the shed. This may take just a couple heats to get this. This thing is pretty thick. About a 3/8 inch thing, and the hole was just a little under 4 inch. So heat that up again, progressively driving that down onto the shoulder. Then at the end, I think if everything's cool enough, I'll show you what I've done here on camera. I encourage you to be creative, and if you just like watching this stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm getting that guard a lot hotter. So I'm going to get that up to temperature, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of scrolling technique. So scrolling is just making it scroll. So part of it, I like to use a slip technique, and being that I've never used this pair of tongs before, it may be really interesting. It may not work too well. We're going to find out. And I'm going to use my big blue scrolling tong. I'm going to get it at a higher heat this time because that thin stock has a tendency to lose temp real quick, as you may have seen, and then it just doesn't move near as well. About an hour 15. See how that little scroll goes on right there. It's a neat little scroll. I think I want to roll it up on there just a little bit more. So here's my blade. Just going to kind of use that to gauge my curl. Alright, so now I'm going to do the rest of that with the hammer. Rub that scroll in just a little bit more. Set like that. I think that looks kind of cool. Not too much, just enough to make it interesting. I think I'm at the front. Throw that stuff on the floor. Mostly to test the durability. hammer. I'm assuming you're talking about the power hammer. That was made by Raymond Head down in Arkansas. I got it from Robbie Bowen out of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and it came up here to Central Illinois. Okay, now let's just use the corner of the anvil here. I think that could work. And right there, you got it. All right, so in the past, okay, hour 20 almost. Well, hold on, you can show them that. That looks really cool. Cheyenne has been working on stuff while I've been forging, and she turned out some really cool stuff. I want to show you guys my stuff, and you'd be like, "Oh, wow, that's so cool!" And then you can see Cheyenne's and be like, "Ah, I retract my statement." And look at her stuff.
It's just a cute little thing.
So that right there. Now the ricasso, the little finger groove right there. It's not my favorite, but I think it's going to flow with the piece once it's done. I got a little scroll. Everything's essentially an S-guard. All right, so I got that one. Previous. And all these are farrier's rasp blades and mild steel guards. How's it going? Oh,
yeah.
Lots of fun. All right. And some more farrier's rasp blades. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe. I just said Cheyenne is going to show what she'd been working on. Cheyenne?
I just worked on a little thing.
So it's a little file steel blade with some sandbar stag scales on it. Looks really nice.
It's cute.
All right. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you in a few. That one I had like 200 and some views.